Ron DeSantis profile, the Florida governor with White House buzz. When Florida Governor Ron DeSantis strolled up to the podium on a sunny day in early October, he didn't look the part of a man standing just feet from the shattered remnants of boats and properties left ruined by Hurricane Ian in Fort Myers Beach. Dressed in finely pressed gray trousers and a blazer, he looked more ready to take on a day at his office in the state capital of Tallahassee, hundreds of miles away. The scene was made stranger by the sight of the man standing a few steps over his right shoulder, U.S. President Joe Biden. A political rival with whom he has clashed on everything from COVID-19 restrictions and LGBT rights to woke education and border security. "Mr. President, welcome to Florida," Mr. DeSantis said after a warm embrace. "We appreciate working together across various levels of government. This willingness to work with rivals as well as his serious demeanor and bearing have prompted some journalists and Republican observers to refer to Mr. DeSantis as Trump with substance or Trump 2.0. Trump was never about policy. He was all about attitude," former Republican National Committee spokesman Doug Heye told the BBC. DeSantis certainly engages in Trump tactics, but there's both political and policy goals in mind behind them. It's an image that appeals to many voters in the Sunshine State. With just weeks to go until the November midterm election, polls show Mr. DeSantis with a comfortable lead against Charlie Crist, the Democrat he is facing in Florida's gubernatorial race. Here's a deeper look at the man some believe is the new face of the Republican Party and, potentially, the next Republican president in the White House. From y'all at 44 years old, Mr. DeSantis is still a relative newcomer to U.S. politics, having first been elected to the House of Representatives in 2012. Just 6 years later, in 2018, after a short-lived bid to become a senator, he became governor. Born in Jacksonville, Florida, in 1978, Mr. DeSantis went on to study history at Yale University, where he was captain of the baseball team, and soon after to Harvard Law School. During his second year at Harvard, he was commissioned as an officer in the U.S. Navy and was assigned to its legal arm, the Judge Advocate General's JAG Corps. His service as a JAG officer included working with detainees held in Guantanamo Bay, as well as an assignment as a legal advisor for elite U.S. Navy SEALs deployed to Iraq. Mr. DeSantis was honorably discharged from the military in 2010, although he continues to serve in the U.S. Navy Reserve. It was also around this time that he met his wife, Casey, a local TV news reporter and cancer survivor who helped spearhead fundraising in the wake of 2022's Hurricane Ian. The New Yorker later described the couple and their children as ready-made for a campaign brochure, and quoted one colleague of Mr. DeSantis as saying they look like they're from Central Casting. After his active duty service ended, Mr. DeSantis became a federal prosecutor. Then in 2012 he entered a race for a seat in Florida's 6th congressional district, one of the most conservative in the state. During this initial foray into Florida politics, Mr. DeSantis largely campaigned on a platform of small government and reduced taxes, as well as a pronounced opposition to the Obama administration. He condemned what he deemed the government's tendency to intervene on virtually any issue. "From the waistline of children to the temperature of Earth. My mission was largely to stop Barack Obama," he recalled in a February speech at a conservative conference in Texas. "Those were good fights. Important fights." In 2018, after 5 years on Capitol Hill, where he helped found the Freedom Caucus of hard-right conservatives, Mr. DeSantis announced his intention to run for governor, with the full endorsement of then-President Donald Trump.